The following are properties, original work, creations, and ideas of Kelebogile Sehoa. The ElementRings brand includes, but is not limited to, the ElementRings Pty Ltd company, the ElementRings script, comic book or manga script, characters, movie script, ElementRings merchandise, and Negu brand. All rights claimed and reserved by Kelebogile Sehoa. Hello and welcome back to ElementRings. As usual, before continuing with the story, here's a quick recap. As the Pilafela family were awaiting Zakes, he showed up with the Matla family and the two families had themselves a small reunion. Botlhale saw another ring on Jonathan's hand and it too grabbed his attention. If you haven't checked out the audios before this one, do yourself some justice and check them out first. Now let's continue with the story. Jonathan sees Botlhale gawk at his ring and asks, "Hey, Pilafela boy, are you okay?" Botlhale nods his head as he takes a closer look at Jonathan's ring and thinks, "Mr. Matla sure wears some cool rings." Jonathan laughs and says, "I see you're looking at my ring. I bet you're thinking of how cool it is." This takes Botlhale by surprise and he thinks, how'd he know what I was thinking? And then answers, "That's exactly what I thought, Mr. Matla." Meanwhile, the two mothers deliberate about the food that would be eaten. "So, Rakadi, since you come here quite often, where would you suggest we eat?" asked Matlohonolo. Rakadi tried to answer and said, "Well, Matlohonolo, I think we should eat." This conversation catches Botlhale's attention and he says, "I'm sorry to butt in, but may I pick where we eat?" Tisetso tells him, "You really want to experience this place to the fullest, don't you?" Botlhale plays it cool by saying, "It's not like that." Matlohonolo adds to what Tisetso's doing and says, "Ha ha ha, you can say that again, Tisetso." Botlhale is so excited that he almost wandered off earlier on. The two families have themselves a nice laugh at Botlhale's expense. Botlhale blocks his face with his hand, blushes and thinks, "Mom, why would you embarrass me like that? But that ring though." Jonathan sees Botlhale still looking at his ring and says, "I see you can't get your eyes off of my ring. You know what? I'll take you to buy your own." This excited Botlhale. He and Jonathan share a high five amongst themselves as Botlhale says, "I'd love that so much, Mr. J." Zakes and Matlohonolo loved seeing Botlhale like this. He was happy and acting his age. Most of the time, Botlhale was a matured 12-year-old. "I think it's time we went to get some food. Botlhale, please choose where we are going to eat," says Rakadi. Botlhale covers Tisetso's shoulders and asks his little brothers to gather around. The boys have a little secret meeting and whisper so no one else hears them. After they were done, Botlhale says, "Okay everyone, follow us." The four boys lead the way with Tisetso slightly falling behind. "Look at him acting all cool and all. I'm glad you are happy, my friend," Tisetso thinks while smiling. Tisetso was also happy to be at Mainland Mall, but he was even happier that this day was the day he shared with his best friend Botlhale. He then rushes over to Botlhale's side and asks, "Isn't it cool that our families are here together?" Botlhale doesn't say anything, but he does look at Tisetso and gives him the purest smile ever. The families make it to the restaurant the boys were leading them to, and above it the words, "Bong's Kasi Restaurant" were written. The two families are approached by a man who says, "Welcome to Bong's Kasi Restaurant, everyone. My name is Bongane, and how can I make your stomachs happy?" Zakes catches on to the joke, laughs, and then says, "Table for 9, please." The man leads them to a table that can accommodate 9 people and gives them each a menu. As they were looking at their menus, unknown to them, Marro was nearing their planet. Elsewhere in space, Marro's 3 brothers are aware that Marro will arrive soon and have a conversation amongst themselves. "Ha ha ha! Didn't I say that he would take longer than I would? Asked the ferocious being. The benign being laughs as well and said, I guess you and Marro are slower than I am. The ferocious being replied, how about you back up your words? We can race back home and come back to our posts immediately and see who's quicker. The strong being saw the need to intervene and said, are you crazy? You know how dangerous that could be? Am I the only one who's of a sound mind of the four of us? The benign being replies, lighten up, brother. We were never going to do it in the first place. Besides, he knows what the outcome would be. He's just putting on this charade to nurse his ego. The ferocious being laughs and replies, I'll make you take back those words one day, brother. Elsewhere in space, Marro was coursing through the solar system heading straight for Earth. He was passing an area called the asteroid belt, which is the space that's between planet Jupiter and planet Mars. Marro wasn't aware that this place housed a lot of big rocks that are as big as his rock form. Marro was moving at a high speed and crashing through the rocks in the asteroid belt. Unfortunately for Marro, he struck one of the biggest rocks there and the impact was severe. This made him lose half of his consciousness or become drowsy. Now he was heading to Earth with half his consciousness and chunks of his rock missing. What is going on out there? What's with all the bumps and grinding? Why do I feel myself fading away? I'll just have to check myself when I get home. I can't do it while I'm traveling through space. For now, I'll just have to sleep and recover from whatever is going on. Let me just make sure I have a good lock on to the ring I sensed when I left my post, Marro said to himself. And that's the end of the 20th release. As you heard, Jonathan told Botlhale that he'd buy him a ring of his own. This, of course, made Botlhale happier. Marro was nearing planet Earth, which he calls home, but he had the problems of his own that he didn't expect. Marro's brothers, on the other hand, were joking about how slow Marro was. Keep listening and don't forget to comment, discuss, like, share, subscribe, and view. Thanks for tuning in and bye for now.